The greatest souls in history shared something extraordinary. They weren't just faithful, they were intimately close to God. These weren't just religious figures or spiritual leaders. They were people who discovered the sacred blueprint of divine connection. And today, these secrets can transform your own spiritual journey. You're about to discover 7 powerful habits that set apart those who walk in divine favor. These aren't your typical religious practices. They're the hidden patterns, the subtle shifts in daily life that create an unshakable bond with the divine. What makes these habits so special? While millions pray and attend services, only a select few tap into this deeper level of spiritual connection. These habits have been quietly practiced by those who experienced supernatural peace, unexplainable joy, and divine guidance in their darkest moments. In the next few minutes, you'll learn exactly how to implement these life-changing practices. You'll understand why some people seem to walk in constant favor, while others struggle to feel God's presence. These aren't complex theological concepts. They're practical, actionable habits that anyone can develop. Stay with me, because the 7th habit especially might challenge everything you thought you knew about spiritual growth. It's time to unlock the secrets of those who found extraordinary favor in God's eyes. First among these divine habits lies a profound truth: daily surrender. Through generations, those closest to God mastered an art most believers overlook. Rather than occasionally submitting major decisions, they cultivated moment-by-moment surrender. Each morning presents countless opportunities to release control. When plans shift unexpectedly, when relationships bring challenges, when career paths seem uncertain, these become sacred moments of surrender. God's favored ones discovered that true peace flows not from controlling circumstances, but from releasing them into divine hands. Deep in prayer, they learned to identify subtle forms of resistance, those almost invisible ways we cling to our own understanding. They recognized how spiritual pride often masquerades as wisdom, and how self-reliance can wear the mask of responsibility. Through consistent practice, they developed an instinct for detecting these hidden barriers to divine flow. Most profoundly, they discovered that surrender isn't a passive state of helplessness. Instead, it becomes active participation in divine purpose. By releasing their grip on outcomes, they found themselves carried by currents of grace toward opportunities they could never have orchestrated themselves. Their testimonies reveal how surrendered lives often unfold in surprising ways, leading to deeper fulfillment than their original plans could have achieved. This daily practice reshaped their response to uncertainty. Rather than anxiously seeking answers, they learned to rest in divine timing. Each delayed response, each closed door, each unexpected detour became not a source of frustration, but an invitation to deeper trust. Through this lens, life's challenges transform from obstacles into opportunities for strengthening their connection with God. In moments of crisis, this habit proved invaluable. While others panic-searched for solutions, they had already cultivated the muscle memory of surrender. Their peace in chaos, their stability in storms, flowed naturally from this daily practice of releasing control and embracing divine guidance. Most striking among divine favorites stands their unwavering practice of radical gratitude, not just in moments of blessing, but especially in seasons of trial. This profound habit transcends mere thankfulness, reaching into depths where praise becomes a powerful weapon against darkness. History reveals countless stories of remarkable individuals who transformed their greatest struggles through this practice. In prison cells, hospital beds, and desperate circumstances, they discovered an extraordinary truth: gratitude holds power to reshape reality. While others saw only walls, they found windows. While others counted losses, they discovered hidden gifts. Radical gratitude operates at a frequency beyond normal thanksgiving. It searches deliberately for blessing in barren places. When finances strain, relationships fracture, or health fails, these spiritual giants learn to mine these hardships for hidden treasures. Their journals often overflow with thanksgiving during their darkest seasons. This practice creates a supernatural shift in perspective. Pain doesn't diminish, but purpose emerges alongside it. Difficulties don't disappear, but their power to disturb inner peace drastically decreases. Through consistent, grateful praise, they discovered an ancient spiritual principle. What we focus on expands in our consciousness. Most remarkably, this habit affects physical reality. Medical studies now confirm what these spiritual pioneers knew intuitively. Grateful people experience better health outcomes, stronger immune systems, and greater emotional resilience. Their brains literally rewire, becoming more attuned to life's blessings and less dominated by challenges. Beyond personal benefits, radical gratitude transforms relationships. Those who master this practice radiate an inexplicable joy that draws others toward light. Their presence brings hope because they've learned to see divine fingerprints in every circumstance. Even in moments of correction or challenge, they find reasons for thanksgiving. Starting each day with deliberate gratitude sets a tone that carries through life's ups and downs. These spiritual giants filled morning hours with praise, creating a foundation that sustained them through whatever the day might bring. This wasn't forced positivity, it was trained spiritual vision that could spot divine goodness in any situation. In sacred spaces of silent listening, divine favorites discovered a profound truth. Spiritual guidance often whispers. While many seek dramatic signs or loud manifestations, these blessed souls mastered something far more powerful: intentional stillness before God. Morning hours hold special significance in this practice. Before world's clamor rises, before phones buzz with notifications, these individuals carved out sacred moments of pure listening. Not filled with requests or even praises, just silent, expectant waiting. Through this discipline, they learned to distinguish divine whispers from mental chatter. Most fascinating about this habit was its compound effect over time. Each day of faithful listening sharpened spiritual sensitivity. What began as faint impressions gradually became clear guidance. Like learning a new language, they developed an ear for divine communication through consistent practice. Within this silence, profound revelations often surfaced. Solutions to long-standing problems emerged naturally. Creative inspirations flowed freely. Personal weaknesses became evident without shame, leading to genuine transformation. All because these individuals prioritized listening over speaking in their spiritual life. Silent listening extends beyond designated prayer times. Throughout daily activities, these spiritually attuned souls maintained an inner quietness, a readiness to receive divine input at any moment. During conversations, they listened not just to words, but for spiritual promptings about how to respond. In decision-making, they learned to pause and sense divine direction. Perhaps most counterintuitive was how this practice affected their productivity. Though spending significant time in silence might seem inefficient, they discovered it actually streamlined their lives. Wrong turns decreased, unnecessary conflicts avoided, resources preserved. By listening first, they moved with precision rather than wasting energy on misaligned efforts. This habit particularly shined during crisis moments. While others rushed to action or sought advice from multiple sources, these individuals knew how to enter that familiar space of silent listening. Their responses came from a place of divine wisdom rather than reactive emotion. Through years of practice, they learned that heaven's solutions often arrive in silence. Building this habit requires patience and persistence. Many initially struggle with mental wandering or feel uncertainty about whether they're truly hearing from God. Yet those who persevered found this practice became as natural as breathing, an ongoing dialogue of silent communion with divine wisdom. Living proof of divine favor manifests most powerfully through sacrificial love, a force that transforms both giver and receiver. While many speak of love, God's favorites embodied it through consistent, costly actions that put others' needs above their own comfort. Stories echo through time of these remarkable souls who discovered an extraordinary paradox. Giving away their lives led to finding them. In moments when self-preservation seemed logical, they chose sacrifice. When exhaustion warranted rest, they pressed on serving. When resources ran low, they shared anyway. Through this practice, they tapped into supernatural strength. Sacrificial love demands daily dying to self-interest. Each morning brings fresh opportunities to choose others' welfare above personal convenience. These spiritual giants learn to spot these moments. A colleague needing extra help despite looming deadlines, a neighbor requiring assistance during precious family time, a stranger's emergency interrupting carefully laid plans. Most profound about this habit was its effect on spiritual perception. Through sacrificial giving, these individuals developed heightened awareness of divine provision. As they poured out their lives for others, they experienced supernatural replenishment, energy renewed mysteriously, resources multiplied unexpectedly, joy deepened inexplicably. Beyond physical acts of service, sacrificial love penetrates relationships deeply. These favored ones mastered forgiveness when revenge seemed justified. They chose to believe in others' potential when evidence suggested otherwise. They maintained love's labor long after feelings faded. Through this commitment, they witnessed dramatic transformations in the lives they touched. Hidden within this practice lies a powerful truth about spiritual authority. Those who consistently chose sacrificial love found themselves carrying unusual influence, not through position or power, but through demonstrated character. Their words carried weight because their lives proved their message. Communities transformed around them because they modeled divine love tangibly. Perhaps most remarkable was how this habit sustained them through persecution and misunderstanding. When their sacrifices went unappreciated or their motives questioned, they continued giving. They learned that true sacrificial love seeks no recognition, requires no validation, demands no reciprocation. Through this pure devotion, they experienced deeper intimacy with divine love itself. Sacred scriptures repeatedly highlight those who maintained childlike wonder in their spiritual journey. Beyond mere innocence, this habit manifests as an ever-fresh amazement at divine goodness, an unquenchable curiosity about spiritual truths, and joy found in life's simplest moments. Unlike worldly wisdom that often breeds cynicism, God's favorites cultivated wide-eyed wonder at creation's majesty. Morning dew on grass blades, intricate patterns in autumn leaves, distant stars piercing night's darkness, these common sights stirred their hearts with fresh awe. Through this practice, they discovered divine fingerprints in everyday moments others rushed past. Most remarkable about this habit was its power to defeat spiritual staleness. When others grew numb to sacred things, these blessed souls maintained fresh enthusiasm. Each sunrise brought new mercies to explore. Each scripture reading revealed hidden treasures. Each prayer felt like a fresh adventure. They never lost that initial spark of discovering God's presence. Wonder opens doors, skepticism slams shut. These spiritual giants approached mysteries with humble curiosity rather than demanding complete understanding. They welcomed questions as invitations to deeper exploration rather than threats to their faith. Through this approach, they continually uncovered new layers of divine truth. Maintaining childlike wonder transforms relationships profoundly. These individuals noticed beauty in ordinary people, celebrated small victories others overlooked, and found joy in simple gatherings. Their enthusiasm proved contagious, awakening similar wonder in those around them. Communities brightened wherever they invested time. Perhaps most powerful was how this habit sustained them through life's complexities. While maintaining mature wisdom, they refused to become jaded by disappointments or hardened by hurts. Instead, they cultivated an ability to see fresh possibilities, believe in miraculous interventions, and trust divine goodness despite circumstances. This practice particularly shines during spiritual dry seasons. When others merely endured religious routines, these souls discovered fresh delight in familiar practices. They approached well-worn paths with new eyes, finding hidden treasures in traditional teachings. Their childlike wonder kept faith vibrant when others grew stale. Through consistent practice, they developed spiritual sensitivity that spotted divine activity in unexpected places. Like children noticing details adults miss, they perceived God's hand in coincidences, timing, and seemingly random encounters. This awareness filled their lives with continuous adventure and anticipation. Souls marked by divine favor share one striking characteristic: persistent faith that stands immovable through life's fiercest storms. While others' beliefs fluctuate with circumstances, these spiritual giants developed unshakable conviction that anchors them in both triumph and tribulation. Most remarkable about this, persistence shows in their response to delays. When prayers seem unanswered, when breakthroughs tarry, when darkness lingers, these individuals press deeper into faith rather than retreating. Through long nights of uncertainty, they hold fast to divine promises, refusing to let circumstantial evidence override spiritual truth. Faith muscles strengthen through resistance. God's favorites discovered this principle through repeated testing. Each financial crisis, health challenge, or relational struggle became an opportunity to exercise deeper trust. Rather than avoiding difficulties, they learned to welcome these faith-building seasons. Mountains of journals document their battles, honest writings revealing inner wrestlings yet unwavering determination. During seasons when heaven seemed silent, they filled pages with declarations of trust. When logic argued against hope, they chose to believe anyway. Through consistent practice, they developed spiritual stamina that carried them through prolonged trials. Particularly powerful was their approach to spiritual valleys. Instead of viewing dry seasons as punishment or failure, they recognized these as critical periods of faith development. In darkness, they learned to walk by faith rather than sight. Through confusion, they deepened their trust in divine character rather than relying on clear direction. Beyond personal benefit, persistent faith impacts entire communities. These individuals became living proof of divine faithfulness, their testimonies encouraging others through similar trials. By maintaining steady faith through difficulties, they created spiritual shelters where others found refuge and renewed strength. Persistence particularly shines in breakthrough's final moments. When others would abandon hope, these spiritual veterans recognized the intensity of resistance often signals immediate breakthrough. Their hard-earned wisdom taught them that darkness often deepens just before dawn breaks. Through years of experience, they learned to press through opposition rather than retreating at critical moments. This habit transforms not just spiritual life, but every aspect of existence. Business decisions, family relationships, personal goals, all benefit from this cultivated persistence. While others quit prematurely, these blessed souls learned to combine patient endurance with active faith, creating a spiritual momentum that ultimately produces supernatural results. Most profound among divine favorites emerges this final habit: humble leadership that serves silently from behind. While world systems push for recognition and authority, these blessed souls discovered extraordinary influence through putting others first and leading through example rather than position. Marking their path through history stands countless untold acts of service. Behind many great spiritual movements, these humble leaders worked quietly, more concerned with results than recognition. They found joy in celebrating others' successes, nurturing potential in those around them, and creating environments where others could flourish. Power flows differently through humble channels. These spiritual giants discovered that true authority comes not from asserting control, but from releasing it. By choosing last place, they often found themselves moved to first. By lifting others up, they were elevated naturally. Through deflecting praise, they attracted genuine honor. Most striking about this habit appears in their response to criticism. Rather than defending themselves, these leaders listened for grains of truth in every critique. When misunderstood, they remained silent unless speaking served others' welfare. During conflicts, they sought solutions rather than proving themselves right. Daily opportunities test this habit's authenticity. In team settings, they willingly took menial tasks others avoided. During discussions, they listened more than spoke. When plans succeeded, they highlighted others' contributions. When initiatives failed, they accepted responsibility. Through consistent practice, they developed genuine humility that attracted both divine and human favor. Beyond personal leadership, this habit transforms organizational culture. These individuals created spaces where others felt valued, heard, and empowered. Their teams often achieved exceptional results because each member felt supported in using their gifts fully. Through humble service, they built lasting legacies that continued bearing fruit long after their departure. Perhaps most powerful was their impact on next generations. By modeling humble leadership, they raised up others who carried similar values forward. Their spiritual children learned not through lectures but through living example that true greatness lies in serving others sacrificially. This habit particularly shines during seasons of success. When prosperity came, when influence grew, when recognition increased, these leaders maintained their servant hearts. They viewed elevation as increased responsibility to serve rather than privilege to enjoy. Through this perspective, they sustained both divine favor and effective influence. Through generations, these 7 sacred habits have marked those who walked in extraordinary divine favor. Yet these practices hold far more than historical significance. They offer a living invitation to deeper spiritual connection available to every seeking soul. Daily surrender opens doors previously locked by human striving. Each moment of releasing control builds trust muscles that eventually move mountains. Through consistent practice, this habit transforms from difficult discipline into natural response, creating space for divine power to flow unrestricted through yielded lives. Radical gratitude shifts entire atmospheres. When circumstances scream for complaint, choosing thanksgiving releases supernatural strength. This habit proves particularly powerful in modern times where negativity often drowns spiritual sensitivity. Through deliberate praise, especially during trials, internal landscapes transform, and external situations often mysteriously align with divine purposes. Silent listening cuts through life's constant noise to access divine wisdom. In today's rushed world, this habit might seem impractical, yet those who master it discover efficiency beyond natural ability. Through cultivated stillness, heaven's solutions flow freely, often preventing months or years of wasted effort through misaligned action. Sacrificial love demonstrates faith's authenticity. While many speak of spiritual principles, this habit moves beyond words into costly action. Through consistent choosing of others' welfare above personal comfort, supernatural strength emerges. Communities transform, resources multiply. Divine presence manifests tangibly. Childlike wonder keeps faith fresh and vibrant. When others grow cynical, this habit maintains spiritual sensitivity that spots divine activity in ordinary moments. Through practiced amazement at simple blessings, joy deepens, hope strengthens, faith stays alive and growing rather than stagnating into mere religion. Persistent faith carries blessed ones through every storm. This habit proves particularly vital during extended trials when visible evidence argues against continued trust. Through determined standing on divine promises despite circumstances, breakthrough eventually comes, mountains move, impossibilities bow, miracles manifest. Humble leadership rounds out these habits, demonstrating how divine favor leads not to pride but to deeper service. Through consistent putting others first, true spiritual authority grows, influence expands. Legacy builds, lives transform through example rather than mere words. These 7 habits weave together, creating a lifestyle that attracts and maintains divine favor. Each practice strengthens others, forming an unshakable foundation for spiritual growth and supernatural impact. Through consistent application, these habits transform not just individual lives, but entire communities. Now stands a critical moment of decision. These truths carry power only when applied. Knowledge without action brings no transformation. Yet even small steps toward implementing these habits can begin shifting spiritual atmospheres. Start with one habit, practice it consistently, watch divine favor begin flowing in new ways. Every spiritual giant began as a beginner. None mastered these habits instantly. Each started with simple choices, daily decisions to align with divine principles rather than natural inclinations. Through persistence, these practices became natural responses rather than conscious efforts. For those sensing divine stirring while hearing these truths, take heart. That spiritual hunger indicates readiness for deeper connection. Each habit shared here opens doors to closer fellowship with divine presence. Through faithful practice, supernatural favor grows naturally. If this message has stirred your spirit and opened new understanding about walking in divine favor, take a moment to support our channel's mission. By clicking that like button, you help others discover these transformative truths. Subscribing ensures you won't miss future deep dives into spiritual principles that have shaped history's most impactful lives. Most importantly, begin applying these habits today. Start with whichever practice resonates most strongly. Write it down, set reminders. Share your journey with trusted friends who will encourage your growth. Through consistent application, watch divine favor begin flowing in unprecedented ways through your life. Remember, divine favor seeks those who diligently pursue spiritual growth through practical application. These 7 habits offer proven pathways to deeper connection and supernatural impact. Now it's time to move beyond hearing into doing. Your journey toward increased favor begins with today's choices. Share this message with others who hunger for deeper spiritual connection. Together, we can inspire a movement of souls practicing these timeless habits, creating ripple effects of divine favor that transform communities and influence generations. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and notification bell to join our growing community of truth seekers and spiritual pioneers. Your engagement helps spread these life-changing principles to others seeking deeper divine connection. Until next time, may divine favor flow increasingly through your faithful practice of these sacred habits.